Stop scrolling. Do not move. Do not blink. You are hearing this because heaven has been trying to reach you, and tonight, something finally opened long enough for this message to slip through. My child, listen to every word with a trembling heart, because this is not ordinary. This is not symbolic. This is not poetic. This is a prophetic warning. God says, everything demons arranged to kill your son is now being exposed. You may feel chills right now. You may feel your heart tightening. You may feel the air change around you. That is because the Spirit of truth just stepped into your atmosphere. There is something you are not seeing, something that has been moving in silence, something that has been stalking what belongs to you. God says, listen carefully. Because what I reveal tonight will save his life. There is a shadow that has been following your son. It is not a human shadow. It is not tied to sunlight. It is tied to intention. It is tied to jealousy. It is tied to spiritual hatred that has no face, no voice, yet carries a very clear assignment. This shadow has been waiting, watching, measuring moments, studying vulnerabilities, circling like a predator waiting for the exact second to strike. Your son has no idea. He thinks what he feels are mood swings, overthinking, or random bad luck. He thinks the sudden heaviness, the unexplained fear, the strange dreams, and the repeated accidents are normal life. But God says, these are not normal. These are signals. These are warnings. These are markers of an assassination attempt arranged in the spirit. Heaven is showing me a plot. A setup. A chain of events designed to pull him into the wrong place, at the wrong moment, with the wrong people. There is an atmosphere demons prepared around him that he cannot see. It looks harmless from the outside. It looks casual. It looks ordinary. It looks like temptation. It looks like distraction. But spiritually, it is a trap. God says, the enemy wants your son because he carries something powerful. Something inherited. Something ancient. Something I placed in his bloodline long before you were born. Your son is not random. Your son is not ordinary. Your son is targeted because he is marked. The enemy fears the man he will become. Hell fears the authority he is destined to walk in. Hell fears the anointing he does not even know is inside him. Hell fears his future, his voice, his calling, his influence. Hell fears his destiny so deeply that demons held meetings, held conversations, held agreements, held dark strategies, all focused on one goal: destroy him before he awakens. God says, you have been sensing something. You have been feeling unsettled. You have been waking up worried without reason. You have been pacing. You have been praying. You have been feeling like something invisible has been tugging on your peace. That was not paranoia. That was discernment trying to break through. A mother's or father's spirit knows when something is after their child. Your spiritual senses were ringing alarms long before your mind understood why. Let me show you what God is revealing. There was a door your son opened. He didn't know it was spiritual. He didn't know it was dangerous. He didn't know it was an invitation. But demons knew. They were waiting for that one crack, that one moment of curiosity, that one weakness, that one emotional wound, that one bad influence, that one reckless choice, to gain access. The access point was small, but the consequences were massive. I see a gathering in the spirit. Dark shapes whispering instructions. Hands pointing toward your son. Chains being prepared. Roads being rearranged. Accidents being set in motion. Influences being positioned. Voices being assigned. A sudden moment of death being scheduled. God says, the enemy created a calendar for your son. A calendar of destruction. A calendar of tragedy. A calendar of disaster. But God is interrupting it. My child, the reason you are hearing this message right now is because heaven stepped in ahead of time. Heaven is exposing what hell hoped you would never see. Hell works in silence, but tonight's silence is broken. You need to understand something important. Your son is spiritually gifted. He sees things but doesn't talk about them. He senses things but shrugs them off. He dreams things that feel too real. For your daughter, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. He has moments where the atmosphere shifts and he doesn't know why. He has been touched by the supernatural since childhood. And hell wants to shut that sensitivity down by killing him early. God says, the enemy wanted it to look like coincidence. He wanted it to look like a mistake. He wanted it to look like a random tragedy. He wanted it to look natural so nobody would suspect the spiritual. But God is not allowing it. Let me take you deeper. There is someone around your son who is not clean. Someone who carries a dark influence. Someone who speaks lightly but carries a heavy spirit. Someone who smiles but is spiritually corrupted. Someone who appears harmless but is hosting something deadly. This person is not acting alone. They are a doorway for demonic influence. They were sent, assigned, positioned. This individual carries a spiritual virus. Whenever they enter your son's space, something shifts. Your son becomes distracted, irritated, confused, reckless, or emotionally unstable. This is not normal behavior. This is interference. God says, remove the access of that person, and you remove the power behind the attack. But there is more. There is a moment heaven is highlighting. A moment that has not yet happened. A moment that the enemy wants to use to strike. A night. A location. A sudden decision. A trap disguised as just one time. One wrong place. One wrong conversation. One wrong connection. One wrong reaction. The enemy plans to use a moment of vulnerability as a doorway to death. But heaven is already standing in the middle of that moment. Heaven is blocking it. Heaven is interfering. Heaven is altering your son's steps. God says, as long as you intercede, the plan cannot unfold. Your prayers are now acting as a shield. Your voice is disrupting demonic timing. Your discernment is destroying invisible arrangements. Your obedience is frustrating hell's operation. Because of your prayers, the enemy is losing access. Because of your prayers, demons are arguing among themselves. Because of your prayers, their assignment is collapsing. Because of your prayers, the trap is being rewired by heaven. But listen closely. This is not just a warning. This is an instruction. God says, do not be silent. Do not be passive. Do not ignore what you feel. Do not dismiss the heaviness. Rise and fight. Rise and cover him. Rise and speak over him. You have authority over what is trying to take him. You have authority to shut down the attack. You have authority to close the door he accidentally opened. You have authority to command heaven's intervention. God says, your authority is greater than the enemy's arrangement. Right now, speak under your breath. Say, my son will live. Say it again. My son will live. Say it until the atmosphere around you shifts. Say it until fear breaks. Say it until heaven responds. Your declaration is shaking the invisible world. Your words are disrupting the blueprint of death. Your voice is breaking the script hell wrote. Now listen. I see two paths. One path leads to early death. The other leads to deliverance, awakening, and destiny. Hell wanted the first path. Heaven is rescuing him into the second. Your son is about to go through a moment of spiritual awakening. A moment where he senses danger. A moment where he pulls away from a certain person. A moment where he refuses an invitation. A moment where he suddenly changes direction. That moment will be heaven's intervention. God says, I will whisper to him. I will warn him. I will redirect him. I will protect him in ways he does not yet understand. This will save his life. But you must stand your ground. Do not allow fear to speak. Do not allow doubt to spread. Do not allow the enemy to intimidate you. You are not helpless. You are not vulnerable. You are not outnumbered. Heaven stands with you. Angels are being released because of you. Light is entering the places hell tried to hide. A divine covering is wrapping around your son as you listen to this. My child, hear this final word from the Lord. The demons arranged his death. But I have arranged his escape. Your son will not die. Your son will not fall. Your son will not be swallowed. Your son will not be taken. This battle is severe, but God says, I am already ahead of the enemy. I am already inside the moment of danger. I am already rewriting the outcome. Now breathe. Your fear is breaking. Your spirit is rising. Your son is covered. Your son is protected. Your son will live. Your son is coming out of this. And God says, the enemy will regret ever touching what belongs to me. But listen closely. Because the Spirit is not finished speaking. There is more being revealed. There is more being uncovered. There is more unfolding in the invisible realm than you currently understand. Right now, the enemy is panicking. Hell is scrambling. The moment you received this message, the atmosphere around your son shifted. Something broke. Something snapped. Something collapsed. Something the enemy spent months constructing just fell apart within seconds. But do not be deceived. When the enemy loses his main plan, he tries to activate the backup. He tries to trigger the alternative route. He tries to push the second option. He tries to stir chaos in hopes that you will let down your guard. God says, stay alert. Stay prayerful. Stay discerning. The enemy is desperate. He is furious. He is wounded. But he is not finished trying. There is a moment coming, a quiet moment, a subtle moment, where your son will feel irritated out of nowhere. He will feel angry without understanding. He will feel pressured, frustrated, or overwhelmed by a situation that normally would not bother him. This is not just emotion. This is a spiritual attempt to pull him into a reaction that opens another door. Hell is looking for emotional access. But heaven is exposing it before it happens. Your son has been under spiritual surveillance. Hell has been monitoring his patterns, his moods, his responses, his vulnerabilities. They have been studying what triggers him. They have been studying what weakens him. They have been studying what distracts him. But God says, the surveillance ends now. I see an angel stepping between him and a demonic observer. I see a sword cutting a cord of influence. I see a veil being torn. I see a shadow fleeing. The enemy is losing sight of him. The enemy is losing grip. The enemy is losing information. This is why your spirit has been uneasy. You can feel heaven moving, and hell resisting. This tension is not physical. It is spiritual warfare in real time. Now listen. God is highlighting a specific moment from your son's past. A moment where he felt abandoned, misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, or wounded. This moment created a small fracture. Heaven calls it a soul bruise. Hell sees it as a doorway. That tiny wound became the open space the enemy used to slide into his emotional world. This is why your son has been struggling with sudden waves of sadness, confusion, or insecurity that appear without warning. Those feelings were not coming from him. They were coming from the wound the enemy was poking. God says, I am healing that wound. I am closing that space. I am sealing that entry point. He will not be accessible to darkness the way he was before. Now let me show you another layer that heaven is revealing. There is a person who speaks into your son's mind. Their words have a spiritual weight, even though they appear casual. This person carries a dark influence. When they speak, they plant ideas. Ideas of rebellion. Ideas of impulsiveness. Ideas of hopelessness. Ideas of recklessness. Ideas that are not from God. This person is a disguised voice. A human shell carrying a spiritual intention. Not possessed in the movie sense, but spiritually influenced. Spiritually used. Spiritually manipulated. Their assignment was to create emotional confusion in your son. Their purpose was to disconnect him from his destiny. Their influence was crafted to weaken him at the exact moment of hell's planned attack. But God says, I am cutting their influence right now. Your son will suddenly feel distant from that person. He will suddenly feel disconnected, uninterested, or uncomfortable around them. He will not know why, but his spirit will know. This is heaven pulling him away for protection. Do not force him to remain connected to every person he knows. Some separations are divine. Some distance is protection. Some silence is deliverance. Now hear this part carefully. God is revealing a scene that could have unfolded if he had not intervened. I see a late evening. I see a sudden invitation. I see a specific location that looks normal but carries danger. I see your son standing at a crossroads, unaware of the invisible trap set before him. I see the enemy waiting with anticipation. I see demons preparing to influence the moment. I see a spirit of death lurking, hoping to strike. But then, I see an interruption. A divine disruption. A sudden shift. A whisper from God in your son's mind. A hesitation. A pause. A change of plans. A sudden feeling that something is off. Heaven intervenes before the danger manifests. The trap collapses. The plan dissolves. The enemy loses the moment he counted on. This is the escape God promised. But listen, your role is not finished. You must speak life over him daily. You must cover him in prayer continually. You must command every demonic calendar to burn. For your daughter, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. You must declare that his steps are ordered. You must speak that he will never be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Your words are building walls around him. Your declarations are creating boundaries the enemy cannot cross. Your authority is enforcing heaven's verdict. Now the Spirit is showing me another scene. Your son is sleeping, but something stands at the foot of his bed. Not human. Not visible in the natural. A dark shape watching him. This thing has visited him before. It brings nightmares, confusion, or heaviness. It tries to influence him while he sleeps. It tries to whisper lies into his subconscious. It tries to imprint fear, chaos, or destruction. But something new is happening. I see light entering his room. I see an angel stepping forward. I see a sword being lifted. I see that dark figure being driven away. This was the spirit assigned to destroy him. But it has just been defeated. Your son's sleep will begin to change. He will wake up with clarity. He will wake up with less heaviness. He will wake up without fear. The spiritual pressure is breaking. God says, I am entering his dreams. I am entering his subconscious. I am breaking the messages hell tried to plant. Now let me speak this to you clearly. Your son is about to experience 3 signs that the attack is over. First, he will feel a sudden shift in his mood, like a weight lifting. Second, he will pull away from someone who was spiritually dangerous. Third, he will make a decision that changes his entire direction. When these signs appear, you will know heaven has taken full control. But before we close, the Spirit says this final warning and promise. The demons arranged his death. But I arranged his deliverance. Their plan was death. My plan is destiny. Their intention was destruction. My intention is awakening. Your son is stepping into protection. He is stepping into purpose. He is stepping into alignment. He is stepping into the hands of God. And the enemy will never touch him the same way again. Your son will live. He will rise. He will walk in his calling. And darkness will regret ever trying to claim him. But listen, my child. The Spirit is not finished speaking yet. There is still something hidden beneath the surface. Something that must be revealed before this message comes to its end. Something that heaven has been waiting for the right moment to expose. You have been feeling a strange tension in your spirit for weeks. Some days it felt like heaviness. Some days it felt like a warning. Some days it felt like a hand pressing on your chest. You did not know why, but God did. That pressure was not fear. It was spiritual preparation. God has been preparing you to stand in the gap for your son. He has been waking you up at strange hours. He has been stirring you in your sleep. He has been placing your son on your mind at random moments. These were not coincidences. These were assignments. These were divine nudges. These were spiritual alerts. God says, every time you felt that sudden urge to pray for him, it was because hell was about to make another move. You intercepted many attacks without even knowing it. Your intercession confused the enemy. Your sensitivity disrupted dark plans. Your prayers shifted timelines. Your discernment exposed unseen strategies. You have been fighting battles in the Spirit long before this message reached your ears. This is why the enemy hates you. This is why the enemy targeted your son. This is why the enemy tried to break your family. Because he knew the power you carry. He knew the mantle you walk with. He knew the authority resting on your tongue. Now the Spirit is revealing something deeper. There was an ancient spirit tied to your family line. It waited for generations. It tried to attach itself to different members of your bloodline. It succeeded with some. It failed with others. But when your son was born, hell grew terrified. Because he carried a light that spirit had never faced before. This spirit does not like him. It fears him. It recognizes the calling on his life. It recognizes the destiny in his steps. It recognizes the fire buried inside him. So it tried to destroy him before that fire fully awakened. But God intervened. He broke generational darkness. He shattered ancient altars. He destroyed agreements that were made before you were born. He cut ties that were trying to wrap themselves around your son. The enemy fought hard. But heaven fought harder. Now hear what God is saying. Your son is entering a season where the spiritual fog will start to lift. He will think clearer. He will choose better. He will walk straighter. He will feel my presence even if he does not yet understand it. I am guiding his steps. I am strengthening his mind. I am restoring his spirit. There is a moment coming, very soon, where he will stand on the edge of a decision. This decision will look small. It will look simple. It will look harmless. But spiritually, it is a doorway. Heaven is guiding him toward the right one. He will feel an unusual hesitation about the wrong path. He will feel an unexplainable discomfort about certain people. He will feel an inner voice telling him, "Don't go." That voice is God. That hesitation is protection. That discomfort is divine restraint. God says, "I will place my hand over his choices, even the ones he does not fully understand. Now I need you to see what I am being shown. There is a place your son was not meant to go. A place that held danger. A place the enemy planned to use as a snare. A location that looked normal but carried spiritual poison. But heaven has already redirected his steps away from it. He will not go there. He will not walk into the trap. The enemy prepared the place, but God canceled the visit. I see angels walking beside him. I see light circling him. I see confusion entering the camp of darkness. I see demons dispersing. I see the spirit of death backing away. The shift has already begun. But hear me carefully. As he begins to walk into protection, the enemy will try to influence his thoughts one last time. Not through danger. Not through accidents. Not through sudden events. But through subtle discouragement. Through whispered lies. Through feelings of worthlessness. Through moments of emotional heaviness. These moments are not a sign of failure. They are signs that the enemy is losing ground, losing access, losing influence. And God says, I will give him the strength to resist what once controlled him. His spirit will rise. His mind will clear. His willpower will strengthen. There is a transformation happening inside him. Slow, quiet, gentle, but powerful. Now the Spirit reveals the final part of the message. The closing of the warning. The sealing of the prophecy. Your son's life was a battlefield. A battleground between heaven and hell. A war fought in silence. A war fought in shadows. A war fought around him without his knowledge. But God has won. The verdict has been declared in heaven. The decision has been made. The enemy's access has been revoked. The assignment has been terminated. The death trap has been destroyed. Now listen to the final words God speaks over you, over your home, and over your son. The attack ends tonight. The cycle ends tonight. The fear ends tonight. The grip ends tonight. The darkness ends tonight. Your son is stepping into protection. Your son is stepping into restoration. Your son is stepping into awakening. Your son is stepping into destiny. He will not die prematurely. He will not be taken suddenly. He will not be stolen from you. He will not fall into the hands of darkness. He is covered. He is shielded. He is surrounded. He is guarded. He is marked by God. And the Spirit says, the same demons that arranged his destruction will witness his rise. Your son will live. He will become what hell feared. He will walk into the purpose he was born for. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop it now. This is sealed. This is finished. This is done. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it.